back to FlexCandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. I'm Flex, and today we're diving into a full top-down analysis on Bitcoin. We're going to start from the higher time frames, work our way down to the lower time frames, and check to see if we find any good setups. Now remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades. Always do your own research and trade at your own risk. All right, guys, let's get started. And we're going to start off with the weekly chart. Now, right now, the stochastics are on the way up. We're starting to get into the overbought levels. But as you can see here, how there was a hump. This is what I'm hoping to happen, for there to be a hump and maybe continue dragging here for a little bit before we fall down. I have the chart right now in a falling wedge kind of flag looking thing here. And this measured move takes us all the way to about 117. So my long-term prediction for Bitcoin right now is going to be about 117 to 120. As you can see, most of the move has already happened. We're currently right now at the time of this filming at 102,979. It's 1:20 p.m. Eastern time. Now, something that I've been telling you guys that we have to pay attention to is, could this possibly be some type of a double top here where we have an M pattern, since the stochastics are starting to get toppy, and then from here, bear market, maybe we drop down to the 200-day moving average 47. I mean, by the time all of this happens, this takes many weeks for this to play out, so it probably wouldn't be at 47. It'll probably be somewhere like in the 50s. That's one speculation. Another speculation that I could have is maybe they fake you out with the M pattern and we think it's going to drop down, but actually what ends up happening is that this is actually an inverted head and shoulder pattern. That's the shoulder, the head, and right now we might drop down a little bit and then come back up, and then all of a sudden we break out to 120 with this inverted head and shoulders. That's another possibility. So we have to keep in mind the bearish possibilities and the bullish possibilities. That way, once we see certain red flags, we know what to do. Now we head over to the daily chart. The daily chart right now, what's bullish about this is that the 21-day moving average, which is this white line, crossed the 200-day moving average. Something else that's about to happen is that the 50-day moving average, which is the red line, will be crossing the 200-day moving average, the yellow line, and that's called a golden cross, and that is super bullish. But sometimes what ends up happening is before the golden cross comes in, we might come down, retest some levels, and then when the golden cross happens, then ends up playing out and we get a higher move. I think that might be happening because even though we are flagging out right here, as you can see, we're kind of like in a good flag, tracing it here. We are far away from the 21-day moving average, which is currently at 97,972. The stochastics are also pointing down. Now, that doesn't mean we have to go all the way down, because over here, as you can see, we dragged for a while, we came down, but we never made it to the bottom. We actually curved up. This could happen at any moment here where we curve up as well, but for right now, we're having a red engulfing candle for the daily. It doesn't close until 8 p.m. Eastern time, but so far right now, and we're far away from the 21-day moving average, so it looks like we could drop down. We have to be wary about that. The next chart I want to look at is the 8-hour time frame, and as you can see, we're losing the 21-day moving average, which is at 103,162. Right now we're at 102,801. So we're losing that, and we're headed for the 50-day moving average, and coincidentally that's at 98,704, which is pretty similar to the daily, with the 21-day moving average being at 97,972. So we don't necessarily have to go all the way down and touch that line, but we got to get kind of close to it in order to keep on moving up. And something else on the 8-hour chart here is that look at the stochastics. They're about to curve down. Maybe we do a W and then we continue coming back up. So we'll have to see what ends up happening here, but right now this is looking a little bearish. This is also looking to me a little bit like a little M-ish here, also like almost like a double top. So could that be happening as well? And then all of a sudden the measured move maybe coincidentally would be taking us to the 50-day moving average. Look at that, guys, pretty much telling us it's probably going to make it to the 50-day moving average. Obviously this moving average will continue moving up. We could probably go sideways and then touch it, so it's probably not going to be exactly at 98,700, but I could see, as I've been telling you guys, we might have support around 97k, 99k, around there. So these might be levels. We haven't touched them yet. So far, Bitcoin has been holding above 100,000, which is pretty strong, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing 97k before we move up. Now let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, this is where I did make this flag, and as we can see, again, just like the 8-hour, this looks kind of like double top-ish here, but we are ranging inside the flag. We came out here, we never broke out. This flag's measured move is to 111,000, so we broke out a couple times. Now we're right back into the flag. The stochastics are pointing down. It looks like we lost the 21-day moving average, and this red red candle looks like it wants to go down and at least touch the 50-day moving average. That's at 101,842. And look, we're right now at 102,606. So we already lost about $300 since I started doing this episode. So this is another possibility of us going down a little bit. Taking a look at the 1 hour chart, we lost the 21-day moving average. You guys already know that's bearish. And the 200-day moving average is coincidentally at 101,691. Stochastics are pointing down. That looks like where we're going to be going. Let's check to see if we lost any moving averages. We did. We lost the 21-day moving average and the 200-day moving average on the 45-minute chart, and we still have a little bit more room to continue going. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. We definitely lost it there. We lost it at the 45. We lost it there also, pointing down. But right now I am seeing more downside. What we need to make sure we hold is this 200-day moving average at 101,691 on the 1 hour chart. If we lose it here, then we got to go to the 2 hour chart and make sure we don't lose it on the 2 hour, which is at 98,499. If we lose it there, you guys already know the drill. You have to go to each time frame, and then the next line of support is going to be 96,000, the 200 moving average in the 3 hour chart. What we definitely cannot lose, because now we will start being very more bearish, is the 200-day moving average on the 4 hour chart, which is all the way at 93,251. I would say we would still be bullish even if we tap the 200-day moving average on the 4 hour chart. It's not going to feel good, but we cannot lose the average. We lose the average, then that's going to leak into the higher time frames, and then by the time you know it, 93 would mean that we lost the 21-day moving average on the 1 day chart, and then we're going to be testing the 200-day moving average on the 1 day chart, and that's all the way at 91,966. So we definitely can't lose the 1 day chart. But right now, guys, all eyes are on the 1 hour chart, and let's hope that we do not lose this 200-day moving average. Overall, I've been anticipating this for a couple of days, guys. You guys already know that once I hit the 100K prediction, my next prediction is for 110K, but obviously there's going to be up and downs. We already did a large move. We're away from the 21-day moving average on the daily and also on the weekly, so we need some time to go and consolidate a little bit bullishly. So right now I'm thinking we could go down or we could go sideways before we see a big move. I do not anticipate any big moves until we catch up a little bit to this 21-day moving average on the daily. Once we're touching price range and this 50-day moving average crosses the 200-day moving average, then that's where I expect us to get another big move up. Right now, support, we need to hold at least 97K. All right, guys, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, and subscribe. And if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is FlexCandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Catch you on the next chart.